Inspired Intentions listeners, welcome back again today. We have, I don't know if you know this or not, but I think I need to fact check this. You are the most repeated guest we've had on here that isn't a
staff
employee. Yeah. I think that everyone
That's so exciting.
It is exciting. Everybody, you're hearing the voice of none other than Leah Hope. And the approving sounds from Jeannie in the background as well. Everybody knows Jeannie. Jeannie, you've been on here a couple times with us. And Leah, you've been on here. This will be your fourth appearance.
And isn't it crazy that I started out as just a fangirl?
Yes.
Like I was just a fangirl of the podcast.
That is to be vulnerable for a second. I'm super proud that I got a hand in creating something that brought you here and that led you on this crazy life journey. Like the podcast kind of started that off for you.
It really did. Like I was walking in my backyard listening to the podcast, and that's what was helping me make the mindset shifts that I needed to make and having something to look forward to coming to Skyterra. And and I emailed in.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
I'm really proud to have been a part of that. Is what I'm saying. So that's really, really cool for me. And you've been on, let's see, because you got your first appearance on here, episode 141. So we're in like the 200s now, right?
Oh, wow.
Yep. So, and then we had, you were on here 142, it looks like, and then 189. And then this will be 200 something. Yeah.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Welcome back.
That is awesome.
Welcome
Thank
back.
you.
How have things been going?
They've been going good. Yeah. So the last time was, oh my gosh, it was almost 2 years ago because it was April 2024.
Yep, 5/27/24.
Yeah. Oh, that's when it was. Yeah. Published. Well, since then, I mean, I've been like maintaining where I've been at, like keeping up with my habits and all the things. And I've also had 4 surgeries to remove loose skin and treat lipedema. And so that's been a whole process. And it's been fun being back here, seeing where my energy and strength and endurance is at now after that process. But I'm feeling good.
Feeling good? Yeah. You've been doing some of the same classes that you had done before. I remember you were telling me, or maybe you posted something about doing a mile trial.
Yeah, well, I did, so I did try to see the fastest mile I could do. I got 12 minutes and 7 seconds this time. My first time ever here, I think it was around 21 minutes.
That's crazy.
Was my mile.
Crazy.
Yeah.
That's so exciting.
Yeah.
And so I guess we shouldn't skim over the part that you're here for a month.
Yes.
Right? And that you've brought other people to be here with you, right?
Yeah, I mean, I have always tried to share about Skyterra. Like,
Sure.
I love it here. I'll tell everyone about it. But yeah, I wanted to be here, be a part of the program, and go through it with people too, because I just think it's so valuable to be able to go through it with someone, the Lose Smart program specifically, like with someone who's done it. And I mean, I wouldn't necessarily use the word success, but has experienced an outcome that you were wanting when you came into the program.
I'd call that success.
I know. I don't know.
Give yourself some props.
Progress.
Right?
Yes.
Progress.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lose Smart with Leah. It's been really cool to see and talk with the folks that have come here to do and maybe start their journey kind of with you.
Yeah.
And using you as support. I was talking to a guest like right before we walked down here. That's like, I met this super supportive person online, and I came to North Carolina, and here I am. It's been the best thing. Being here. Never done anything like this before.
Yeah.
So.
Just meeting up with internet strangers. Yeah.
So I bet it feels cool to make a difference, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
From your journey to now.
It is. I mean, and it was never the plan, but yeah, it's been so special to just be able to help people know like what's possible for me is possible for them. And that's my ultimate goal with sharing in any capacity what I've experienced.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. Well, hopefully this podcast today can be another step in that direction.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Jeannie, do you want to introduce what we're here to talk about today?
Oh, sure. So I'm Jeannie. I'm the dietitian here, and we're talking about emotional eating, which brings up some emotions.
Yes.
Yeah, it can
does.
be a really deep subject. I'll be honest, it's
Yeah.
something that I don't know a ton about, or maybe just I've never really thought about it from my own personal life, but
Yeah.
I'm excited to talk about it with you guys.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. I think we should start off with the idea, maybe Jeannie, of like just broad overview. What is emotional eating? Like, how would you define that for somebody?
Oh, eating out of emotion. And I'll be honest and a little bit vulnerable. It's been really hard for me in my life to identify emotions, know how I'm feeling.
Yeah.
And sometimes the realization comes when I'm standing in the pantry with my hand in a bag of popcorn. I'm like, oh, I must be really worried or stressed or pissed off or whatever. And here I am eating. So emotional eating is eating in response to an emotion, whether that is stress or even joy. Sometimes we celebrate
Yeah.
with food, right?
For sure.
We can get really sciencey now if we want.
Yeah. No,
Okay,
yeah, throw it
let's
at
do
me.
it. So when I talk about stress, I mean the whole definition, like a stressor, whether that's anger or a deadline or pain, you name it. Maybe Leah can throw out some stressors that you've dealt with in the past. But
I mean, I can name specific people if that's
Right.
what. No, I'm just kidding.
right,
Let 'em
maybe
have
not.
it.
No.
Alan needs to beep it. But our body's built to respond to stress with this HPA axis, which the end result is cortisol, which is a hormone that people like to talk a lot about.
Yeah.
And that drives our fight or flight. Like it puts blood glucose out into the system. It increases our blood pressure. Like it's getting us ready to face this stressor, which is a good thing. Like we need that fuel, that energy. But at the same time, it's triggering our dopamine responses a little bit, which is also a good thing with acute stress because that system is helping us be motivated, it's helping us learn, and it's reinforcing our action. So like an exam, let's say you have your first big exam in high school, you're stressed out, you're working really hard, and you make a B. Well, you're rewarded, that's reinforced, so the next time you're going to study. But that stressor's over. You took the test, you're done. Well, when chronic stress happens, we have that higher blood sugar, we have higher blood pressure, we have a drive for reward, for reinforcement and learning that often ends up in emotional eating. And usually it's rewarding food, so it's high fat, high sugar. So it's chronic stress leads us to seek out that reward and seek out that food.
And by chronic stress, you don't just mean one event.
Correct.
You mean like a season of life.
It could be
typically.
a season of life, but I think it's also most Americans specifically are in a chronic stress state, whether it's the news or season of life or responsibilities, deadlines, all of that. Yeah. We don't have that. So when it's chronic and it's not going away, the cortisol response has to be higher and it doesn't drop back down. And so it ties to that dopamine response. And you remember it because we're trying to build new wires to learn things. So if I'm super stressed and I go eat a jar of peanut butter, my brain is like, hey, I'm going to be efficient and I'm going to save this. So next time you're super stressed, I'll just send you the peanut butter. You don't even have to think about it. I got you. That's what your brain's doing. The reason I love talking about this is it takes off guilt and shame. Like I hope that's what listeners hear is like, oh, it's not, I'm weak, I don't have any willpower, why do I keep doing this? It's, no, this is how your brain systems work. This is the stress response in action.
It's gonna happen.
Yeah.
To everyone.
Right. And I think most people emotionally eat at some point, but it might not be eating. It might be drugs, alcohol, sleep, shopping, another response like that.
Gotcha. I found it interesting. I think you just said it, but is there like a certain, you said fats and sugars. Is that what?
Yeah, like highly
that's
palatable. It's a hard word to say. Palatable foods.
That's like the thing we go for
Because
most
it
of the
gives
time.
you that hit. It like answers that dopamine need faster. Broccoli can taste great.
I know. Can you imagine someone like
But-
crying and being like, just give me a bowl of broccoli, please?
I know.
I need the sprouts.
Or that trend where people were eating bags of spinach,
I didn't
like
see
popcorn.
that.
Oh my gosh. Yeah,
Really
it's not going to do it.
interesting. Have you found that there's like a specific food that
I
comes
think.
up most often?
Oh no, I think everybody has their
As a
their
thing.
things.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
interesting.
Mine is candy.
Candy.
Just candy.
Chocolate or like candy.
It doesn't matter. Like I go through phases. Like I get hyper fixated on one specific candy, and then I'd have it regularly for months, and then I'd move on to the next, and then all different like
Yeah.
weird things from chocolate bars to like gobstoppers and just
Yeah.
like random.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Gobstoppers?
Yeah.
that's a funny.
Wait,
Is
you
that-
know,
What is?
they're like kind of like mini jawbreakers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But all the things, hot tamales. I don't even like spicy stuff, but like that, I was fixated on it for a while. It's interesting.
And I guess that leads me to kind of another question. I'll start with Leah here. We have talked about like being comfortable with discomfort on this podcast with you before, and I've heard you say that before social media posts all different times of stuff. When do you think that you first maybe realized that your relationship with food was tied to maybe more of those emotions than just hunger like that?
Yeah. I actually didn't realize it until I was a bit into my health journey and actively losing weight. Even at the start of it, like when I hit my rock bottom, which I've shared about, like, and knew I needed to make a change. I don't want to live this way anymore. I had an accountability partner, and she would say, like, you should probably take some time to like think about your emotional eating and address that. And I was like, I don't emotionally eat. Like, this is just a habit. That's truly how I saw it. And I was like, I didn't see myself eating a certain way because I felt a certain emotion. Honestly, I just kind of, I was just like living on autopilot. Like, it just felt like this is what I do. I wake up and I go to Starbucks and I get this muffin and this venti caramel macchiato, and then I decide which fast food I'm going to next. And then I stop at a drugstore and I pick up this candy bar and this thing. Like, it didn't feel like I was doing those things because I felt a certain way. It just felt like I was doing those things because that's what I had been doing for so long.
Which I think it could be both, because the habit development too of like, well, this is on repeat. Like, I get up, I pee, I brush my teeth. I get up, I pee, I brush my teeth. I don't think when I get up,
Right.
I need to pee. I don't think.
Yeah. It wasn't like a
built-
premeditated
Correct. But
thing
you've
at all.
built that wire in your brain. And because our brain likes to be efficient, it's that thing that's going to, you don't have to think about it. I got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's still, I didn't realize the relief or like satisfaction that came from it because I didn't think of it as doing it because I needed
response to
relief.
it,
I
yeah.
just thought it was just what I do. And then the more that I thought about emotional eating, that was when, like you mentioned this, that's when I realized, like, oh, joy is an emotion. And not to say that I didn't experience hard emotions too and want to turn to food, but food was just, it was my greatest source of joy. It's still a source of joy for me. And I think that's
it's
fine and great. But at the time, I will say, like, it was my main source of joy. Like, it was like I wake up and I get I would get so excited to think about what I was going to eat during the day. And like, before I'd even finish lunch, like, oh, what am I going to have for dinner? And like, that's what brought me joy. And I was like, oh, that's an emotion. Like, that is emotionally eating, that I'm using this to make me feel happy, to make me feel joyful and comforted.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was an interesting thing for me to realize. And it wasn't until I had been a bit into my journey that I fully realized that and was like, okay, joy's an emotion. And then I examined more. I started paying more attention to like when I was feeling potentially, I don't know if you would use this word, but like potentially negative emotion, maybe an emotion we don't want to be feeling.
Yeah.
And realize like, oh yeah,
what's
driving through
happening.
fast food is the first thing that I want to do right now. Yeah.
I have a question, but I also don't want to
Yeah.
forget this thing that I want to say about that bigger word of stress and how our brain works is when we are under stress, our super smart prefrontal cortex goes offline. Like it's not in control. What is in control is our emotional brain. So it's almost like, yes, very logically, if I'm in a stress response, I can think like, okay, a Frappuccino is not going to help.
Yeah.
That there's nothing that's going to help me deal with this stressor or this person. Like it's not going to be a Frappuccino.
But it's going to help me feel good temporarily.
I know that, but
Yeah.
that's not the part of the brain that's in control right now. The part of the brain that's in control right now is like, I feel bad, I need to feel better, and what worked before was this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that is what it is. Yeah.
Oh, I was going to ask.
Yeah.
Once you came to that realization, how was that experience at first to try to separate trigger and response, to try to separate emotion and drive through?
Yeah. I don't know that I did it super intentionally, like notice the trigger and then be like, okay, instead of doing this, I have to do this. I just, because I started my health journey and already started adding healthier habits into my life, I think they did just end up becoming things that I turned to. And honestly, it took a long time. Like for the first year, walking was not like, it was something I made myself do. I wasn't like, oh, I want to take a walk. But then I got to the point where I wanted to take a walk. And if I did feel stressed, honestly, I'd still think about food. And I think I mentioned this in one of our Loose Smart classes. Like I said, I went through a hard season after I had already lost over 200 pounds. I went through my first really difficult season since I started my journey. And I was like, I want Cheetos and fruit snacks. And I went and I got Cheetos and fruit snacks. And then I also took a walk that day. And so even that, like, and someone might hear that and be like, oh, you failed. And to me, that was like the biggest win ever. To be like, even not only that's getting rid of the all or nothing mindset of like, oh, I had this thing that wasn't beneficial for me, and I'm still going to choose this other thing that is beneficial for me. But it was also, I wanted the walk. Like I didn't take the walk to walk off the Cheetos and fruit snack. I took it because I needed that. Yeah, it made me feel better. And that's like been so cool to see that.
I think that's a great thing to pay attention to with what you just said. Of it wasn't, oh, I'm feeling this way, what should I do instead? You kind of built the alternatives ahead of time. So you're strengthening that response, you're strengthening that trigger, or that tool.
Yeah.
So that you're more likely to go there in the future instead of trying to put so much effort into the like moment by moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I will say it also felt like, I think one of the biggest differences for me now, like even if I do choose something like that when I'm feeling emotional, that's the key word. I choose, like it feels more like a choice now. Before it just felt like I was on autopilot and it's just what I do. And now I pause and I ask myself like, do I really want this? And sometimes I'm like, yeah, I really do. I really want the Cheetos or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But at least I'm feeling like I can own that choice instead of feeling like after I finish a whole bag being like, oh my gosh, how did I let that happen? It's like, no, I know. I chose it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, we talk about connection and mindfulness a lot here. And I find myself speaking a lot about connecting brain to body. And I think even when you're emotionally eating, like I can be in the pantry in the chocolate chips and then be like, oh, yeah, like I am so anxious. That's great. Like I recognize the feeling, even if it was already in the moment, if it was already in the action, just to get more connected brain to body, like recognizing how I'm feeling in the moment.
Yeah. And accepting that like I was very aware I am turning to this because I'm sad. And I think even just that awareness is so valuable because when you are working on autopilot, you're not thinking like, oh yeah, I want this because I feel sad or because I feel stressed. You're just doing it without the self-reflection.
Right.
And without being able to make a choice, right?
Yeah. And I think that's That's a huge thing with people who struggle with emotional eating, is feeling out of control. And so I think that's really what you can teach yourself is that you don't have to feel out of control just because you make a decision that you didn't plan to make or that wasn't beneficial for you. Like, you can do that mindfully. And because I think it's the out of control feeling that then keeps the cycle going, because then you feel guilty
And you feel
or
guilty, which is a
ashamed,
stressor,
and so
which
then
is- yep.
you're more stressed and you do it again. But if you can look at it and be like, no, like, I was in control, this is what I decided, and now I can move on rather than stay in that cycle.
And actually recognize and process that feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing we talk about often at Skyterra is that transformation doesn't end when your stay does, and it doesn't have to fade when life gets busy. That's why we created the Skyterra at Home app, a personalized wellness app designed to help you stay connected, supported, and consistent longer after you leave campus. Skyterra at Home brings our holistic approach to wellness right into your home. Inside the app, you'll find expert coaching, fitness, nutrition, mindfulness, lifestyle, habits, all designed to help you maintain momentum in a way that feels realistic and sustainable. You'll have access to tailored workouts created by the same team who supports our guests, nutritional guidance and recipes from our registered dietitian and culinary staff, and easy-to-use tools to help you set goals, track progress without pressure. And just as important as the content is the connection. Skyterra at Home allows you to engage with coaches and like-minded community, sharing wins, asking questions, and staying inspired every step of the way. Just to let you understand that a little bit, you have access to a Skyterra staff member anytime you would like through the app. It's pretty cool. Whether you're continuing your progress made at the retreat or deepening your wellness journey over time, Skyterra at Home ensures you're never doing it alone. If you're ready to bring Skyterra into your everyday life, you can find Skyterra at Home in the App Store or visit skyterrawellness.com/at-home. Jeannie, would you say that most people need to take a step back and do a little self-reflecting and think about if or when they emotionally eat?
Yes. And the if is what made me hesitate, because
Okay.
it's hard for me to believe that anyone never emotionally eats. I'm sure people struggle with it less than others, but because of that brain function, I feel like a lot of times that's what we're doing out of the stressor. Because food is the fastest, like, safe, as in it's right there in your house. You don't have to go anywhere. It's not a drug. And a lot cheaper than alcohol or drugs or shopping. So it's the thing that
It's
you
available.
can just get.
Yeah.
It's always there for you. Like, that's how I saw it. Like,
Yeah.
food is always there for me. Like, it is exactly what I want it to be every time.
But I think just that first step is just recognizing, oh, I am emotionally eating, and this is the emotion I feel. If that's a huge win if we start to recognize that.
Just kind of take a pause and yeah.
Would you say that if someone finds comfort from food, is that emotional eating?
I think it's probably something we can put on a scale,
Yeah.
Like, sometimes it's super comfortable to sit on the couch and watch a movie and eat popcorn. Is that emotional eating?
Like, if they
No,
get
but
an experience afterwards, like if they're like, oh, okay, like this is a relief to enjoy this food, but didn't necessarily have the emotion before.
oh,
Yeah.
That's a hard question.
Yeah. I just
Something to think about. Right.
I wonder if that,
It might be just that
Counts.
more personal awareness. Like, this is kind of getting into a different topic, but when we talk about binge eating disorder, it's people feel out of control and then also surprised at what they consumed. And so I think that has an element of emotional eating. Like, if I'm disconnected from prefrontal cortex, disconnected from what I'm really feeling, and I'm just eating to not feel.
Yeah.
anymore. And then you look back and see the empty bags and are like, oh, crap.
Mm-hmm.
And then here we start again with like shame, guilt.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's why the first thing of just noticing without, as much as you can without judgment, is huge. Because, and again, I'm not a therapist and I struggle with like my own, how do you feel? Like, I don't know. But I think just recognizing our feelings and recognizing they're temporary and just being in them and letting them fade is helpful, but hard.
Yeah.
Because no one wants to feel sad for,
Right.
you know, but it's telling you something.
Right. Yes.
And if we're just eating past it, you're not going to learn about yourself or maybe your relationship that needs to change or
Yeah.
an environment that might need to change.
Anything that we turn to cope with something is giving us information.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do you see that in other people? Because you guys do the huddles and the community groups with the Lose Smart program, that kind of thing. And I'm sure that you had conversations like this with other folks. Has that helped you reflect at all? Do you see that in other folks as well?
I do think it's interesting. I feel like everyone has a different version of it. Like you said, you were saying it's not necessarily the same for everyone. Because it's interesting. You also brought up like feeling numb or like numbing out.
Mm-hmm.
So you might not think of that as emotional eating because you're like, but I'm feeling nothing.
Yeah, you're just trying to feel
Yeah.
nothing.
So I do think some people cope in that way and maybe tell themselves they're not emotionally eating. They just it's just mindless. They don't feel anything.
I think one of the benefits of Lose Smart and being in an environment like Skyterra is you can kind of relax a little bit because food is provided. It has already been thought out. It is already going to be enough and it's going to taste good. And so even if I put myself here, like eating breakfast, lunch, dinner that are the same size, I don't do that at home.
Yeah.
But when you do it here, it's like, oh, I am full. Like, I don't want this snack. Or even after dinner, you know, it's 9 p.m. A lot of people are nighttime snackers. But I've had so many guests tell me they don't even think about it when they're here. And I think it's because you have a good breakfast, you have a good lunch, you have a good dinner, you are nourished. So you're not looking for that hit or that little.
And they're in a lower stress environment, most likely.
And there's that, yeah.
And I think enjoying food in community makes such a difference. Like it's such a different experience with food as opposed to just eating it by yourself alone somewhere. And so I think that's a huge advantage to being here.
And with it all taken care of, I think then you notice, like, if it's numbing out, if it's an automated response, sometimes you don't even notice that you always get a snack at 3:00. And then you're here and you're like, oh, I usually am snacking. I haven't even thought about it. Like, I think it gives you that environment and that space to actually see what's possible in how you might diet and what your habits are, and even recognize what your habits are.
What do the community meals look like here for somebody that doesn't know, especially in the Lose Smart program, because I know that's a little different?
I don't know if they still, I think sometimes they do tailor your meals, definitely your protein to your BMR, your basal metabolic rate. Do they still adjust something to carbs for Lose Smart? They used to do that.
I don't think
I don't feel
so.
like it. I feel like I get a good amount of the carb with my meal. Yeah. So, I mean, they all include lots of vegetables, which this is definitely where I get the most vegetables out of the whole year, really. Aside from potatoes, which is a vegetable.
A starchy vegetable.
Yeah. So there's lots of vegetables, and then you do get a carb like rice or noodles or different, maybe like multi-grain bread or something, and then protein. And I think it's focusing on getting adequate protein.
I hear a lot of feedback about portions and, oh, I get to eat this much. I'm like,
people are so surprised. They're like, I would never eat this much at home. And I'm like, well, it is half vegetable. Like it's a lot of vegetables. So visually, I think that helps people too.
And then also at the end of a week or at the end of a month, they're like, oh, I feel better. I have better energy.
Yeah.
I'm sleeping better. I'm not snacking at night. I don't even want to snack at night. Like all of these incredible benefits beyond the scale from eating enough.
Yeah. And it really is, like you were saying, just knowing that it's taken care of for you. Like, oh my gosh, it's such an amazing feeling to be able to come here and be like, I don't have to think about food, which it's like, I used to love thinking about food when I was choosing it and what was next. But then here it's just like, you get to let it go. And I mean, they're all delicious meals too. So it's not like you're wondering, you're not feeling like you're going to be missing out. I mean, I'll be honest, I do feel like I'm missing out on dessert, having it only 2 nights a week. But that's a me thing. Oh no, I ask them for some chocolate chips sometimes.
You can ask me too.
I'm a something sweet every day type of person.
Yeah, that's great. That's why you start hiking, right? Hike bites.
Yes, exactly.
I think the other element besides what's on the plate is the community table setting.
Yeah, that's what I was actually more curious about.
And it's, especially in the Lose Smart circle, it's fun to sit there with everybody and just hear them connecting. And the pace of the meal is different. Like, I know all of us are eating slower.
Oh, you eat slower,
without thinking about it. Just because you're with community and you're enjoying conversation. And then there's the support element. Like, if there is a question, you've got dietitian, therapist, trainer, nurse sitting right there.
Yeah, tell them, like, dive in more about that circle. Like, what does that actually look like? Yeah, the huddle.
Right. So it's myself, Ryan, our trainer, Greg, our therapist, and Teresa, our nurse. And every week we have a topic planned, a little like lunch and learn, which may take up the last 10 minutes of the lunch. But it's a lot of just conversation around what's going on. We can talk about goals, just how people are feeling, which I don't know about you, but when I'm sitting at dinner with my husband and my son, I'm not talking about how I'm feeling.
Yeah. When you're just, and I mean, I don't know how long you sit at dinner with your family, because it's like here, it's
an hour.
Yeah.
Right.
It's an hour. So it's like, we might as well be talking to each other and eating slowly. And
it's a cool element that's built in. And I actually haven't thought about this before. Like, that's another practice point that's super valuable. And you don't even have to think about it. Like, you're not sitting there with your plate and looking at the clock and thinking, okay, I gotta make this last. Instead, you're like enjoying the company and enjoying the dish. And there's an hour.
I think that's what's so valuable, is because I still absolutely find enjoyment from food, but it's not, like I said, my primary source of enjoyment. And with something like that, it's like, oh, I'm getting enjoyment from the company, from the people, from the conversation. And also this food is really good too. And maybe that's part of our conversation, is that we're talking about the food and like what we like about it.
I think that's a big key point, is that you have, I'll use the word too, you've been very successful with weight loss, maintaining it, finding joy in a lot of different things. And you still enjoy food. Like, you don't have to give that up. You didn't have to give that up.
No.
Yeah.
Actually, I was just telling the kitchen today, I marked the wrong thing and they brought me a meal because you get 2 choices. Like, for each of your meals, you can decide between 2 things. And I thought I checked the one that was pasta, and then they brought me one without pasta, and I was like, this is a disaster. So I just let them know today. I was like, just so you know, if pasta is an option, like, I will always choose that. I was like, can you just put that in my file? Like, just make sure that you know, because even sometimes people that are here, I think they're still like, oh, I'll have less of the carb or less. And it's like, no, you just get to enjoy what's here and know that it's healthy for you and it's portioned for you. Like, you don't necessarily have the risk of overeating.
That's a lot of times when I'm working with people one-on-one and we're talking about diet change, I say, we're just going to spend a week or 2. And this is what happens if. This isn't you did it wrong or you did it right or you followed the diet or you didn't. It's what happens if. So I feel like while you're here, hey, what happens if I eat these meals the way they give them to me?
Yeah.
What happens if I choose this pasta? Like, oh, you feel good
Right.
and you have energy and you did the workout great. And
Yeah.
yeah.
That is great.
Gina, I got a question for you. Do you ever, when you're working with people, see that there's like a specific kind of light bulb, aha kind of moment around emotional eating? And Leah, you can chime in too. Maybe you've seen this with somebody or maybe in yourself, but like a consistent theme or something.
Oh, that's a hard question.
Yeah.
Well, I loved in the class we were in recently with you, and I do want to talk about coping mechanisms and potentially finding other valuable coping mechanisms. But I loved that you said, like, emotional eating is okay
right.
sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we all emotionally, I think maybe the aha, like I started off talking with the science. I love sharing that because it's like, oh, it's not your fault. Like it is not a weakness. It is not a you did bad, you're guilty. It's the way your brain dealt with a stress and a chronic stress. I think that's what I want to be the aha for people.
I got you.
Because of that cycle. Like, oh, if I have obesity and I have a like crazy workload and I'm stress eating, and then I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I did that. I'm the worst. I need to lose weight. Well, guess what? I'm still at a high stress level and I'm just going to continue the process. Not even the eating, like high stress, cortisol, insulin resistance, like leads to weight gain. It leads to fat deposition. So anything I can do to like take off the stress of eating right.
It makes a lot of
I want
sense.
to do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that I talk about this in Loose Smart and in classes here is if we can change the goal from nutrition to nourishment, that's what I look for. Like I say that and I see people like, oh, okay. Like that feels better. That I can do. That is personal.
And this might not be what you mean, but I hear that and I think, will this nourish my heart today?
Yeah.
Like, is
Right,
this going
right.
to provide me something where I'm like, okay, like that nourished my heart or
Yeah.
my mind in some
Right.
way even? Because we might look at a dessert or something and be like, oh, this isn't nourishing for me. But if you think of it as like, no, this actually feels like what
Were we talking last week or so about like, you have a cookie and it's like, this is so good.
Yeah.
I'm eating this cookie. And then there are times when you have a cookie and you're like, this
eh.
is not good.
Yeah.
Well, if you are nourishing your heart, the not good cookie, you're not going to eat.
Right.
But when we are disconnected and on autopilot, when you eat that Chips Ahoy and doesn't even register and it's not good, you know?
Yeah.
But
And
you go to the bakery and you get the chocolate chip cookie
Yes.
that is the right soft and the right. Enjoy that thing.
Yeah. And I do think once you start being mindful in that way, then you do go to the other option and you're like, oh, this is not bringing me the joy or satisfaction that it used to. Or maybe it didn't even used to bring that to you. It was just habit. It just.
And if you're asking that question, the answer is not always going to be that cookie. Sometimes what is the most nourishing thing for me right now is like, man, broccoli's always my example. Like roasted broccoli and shrimp sounds delicious, and that would feel really good right now.
Yeah.
Or I'm going on a hike, and a hike bite is what I need. Yeah.
And that kind of sounds crazy to say that I could get to a point where I'm like, yeah, broccoli and shrimp sounds like, but you
Maybe
really
with a little
can-
pasta.
No, but you can get there. Like that's. I never, like protein did not even cross my mind before I started my health journey. I never was like, does this meal have protein? I just literally didn't think about it. And then now I don't just think about it because I know about it. It's like my body is asking for it because I got in the habit of prioritizing protein.
And connected.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, getting connected with your body. I do want to say something about that. So like as far as nourishing, thinking like, is this nourishing for me outside of just nutrition wise? I do think that you can get to the point where switching eating with a different coping mechanism then does feel nourishing. Again, like to your heart, to your soul, your mind. And so I have a fun story about that I want to share. Okay, so the first and only time that I ever brought attention to my weight. Like I never talked about my weight, even with friends or family. Like I just pretended like it didn't exist. I had a situation, I'm a photographer. I had a situation at a photo shoot and a man there was making fun of my size. And so I decided to share about that on my photography Instagram when this was before I started my health journey. Like I just made a post about how like, oh, my size doesn't have to do with my ability as a photographer. And I was so scared. I don't know why I even shared that. I don't know why I did, because I was so terrified to post that and share that and bring attention to the one thing that I tried to hide my whole life. But I shared it. And right after I posted it, I went to a restaurant and I got bacon and sausage and hash browns and eggs. And I just like ate it and was like, okay. Like I just felt relief after sharing that and having that comfort food, that meal. And then after I had started my health journey, about a year into it was when I decided to start sharing online. And that was terrifying for me. Again, calling attention to the thing that I tried to hide, didn't want to talk about, and truly taking the most vulnerable part of me and just putting it front and center online for strangers, for people I knew. So when I made that first post on what is now like my Instagram account, I was, again, the same feeling, so scared, feeling so raw and vulnerable. And I went on the longest hike that I had ever been on. And that's like genuinely what I wanted to do. That felt like, this is scary. I don't want to look at the comments. I don't want to look at what's happening. What can I do? I'm going to go hike. And that was just like such a cool thing for me to realize.
That was awesome.
Wow, before I turned towards food, and that felt like the most comforting thing. And this time I actually wanted to hike, and that felt like the biggest stress relief for me. And so I do think it's possible to swap it. Like, it sounds so silly to say, oh, just switch it with something. I get it. That's so annoying to have someone say that, like, oh, just don't eat, take a walk. That's like, that's annoying.
It should never sound like a perfect one-to-one.
Yeah,
totally.
Like,
but you can get there.
And I think if you're really honest with that question, what's the most nourishing thing for me right now?
Yeah.
Sometimes it will be like, I just need a walk.
Yeah.
I need to lay down. I need a nap. I need some chocolate chips. I need some broccoli. Like, so.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think for me, asking myself, like, what will my future self be thankful I chose has been a great question. Because sometimes I'm like, yeah, my future self is cool with me choosing a cookie.
Yeah.
Like, she's cool with that.
Yeah.
And then sometimes I'm like, no, my future self knows it would have been better to take a walk for me for multiple reasons.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, but I will say I am curious, Alan, do you emotionally eat? I mean, Jeannie would say, yes, you do. But do you
On some level.
feel like you do?
Sure. I say that in that I've never thought about it.
That's interesting.
Never have. Again, like when we started this, this is not a subject expert on this at all. Learned a lot just listening to you guys chat about your experiences and working with people. And when you asked me that, Jeannie, or you said, that I forget how exactly you put it earlier, but the if, right?
Oh, right.
It's not, it shouldn't be if,
Yeah.
yeah, I guess I do or have. I never really think of it as like a bad thing. I don't ever have guilt about it afterward, but it's definitely, at least in the past, been under stressful conditions after a tough day of X, Y, or Z. I can even think of the thing that it is that I go for.
Yeah.
And I've never thought about that before.
What is it?
Oh my gosh. If you were to ask my fiance this, I bet she could answer it too.
Yeah.
Their French onion dip.
Ooh,
yeah.
oh my gosh.
I'll tell you what.
Yes.
Yeah.
But like with
Easy.
potato chips, you're just
No,
spoonfulling it.
no spoons
Please don't.
needed. No spoons needed.
Oh yeah, that's a
Yeah.
good one.
That's a good one.
It's just funny. I just never thought about it before.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, and you
can't identify it.
turn down hike bites, which is wild.
Is that insane to you?
It is,
They are
yeah.
good.
But I get it. If you have the option like every day.
Yeah, for sure. Some days I'm feeling it, and some days
Yeah.
I'm not. You know what I mean? For sure.
I think that's a key of nutrition and eating in a weight loss journey too. Is like every day is not going to be the same.
Yeah.
Like you could set up a diet plan, but every day doesn't have to be the same. And if you're more hungry one day than the next, that's worth looking into. Like, oh, did I work out more? Did
Yeah.
I sleep poorly? It's not a like, oh my gosh, I shouldn't be hungry.
You have to be adaptable. I think so many people think of like, oh, if I'm going to change my life, I need to stick to this routine. But no, actually, you need to be flexible and adaptable
flexibility.
if you want to change your life long term.
For sure.
Absolutely. Leah, anything that you're taking away from this Lose Smart stay? Anything new that think you want to share with folks?
Honestly, well, I already said it. Like that, I think that was really cool in the class that we were in when you were like, it's okay to emotionally eat. And I'm over here thinking like, okay, what can we swap eating with? And then it's just like, I don't know. And I think part of me already knew that.
right.
Like I understand. Again, it's a matter of
Paying
feeling
attention.
in control or out of control when you do turn to food for comfort. But I just think that's so valuable for people to know and hear so that they're not feeling guilty and then turning back towards food and then feeling guilty again. And then it just keeps going.
Yep.
Yeah.
It does.
Jeannie, any advice for anybody out there that may be thinking deeper on this subject now after listening to this?
As you think deeper and evaluate yourself, do so with kindness.
Mm-hmm.
And that experiment mindset, I think, is key.
Yeah. Have patience
Yeah.
with yourself.
Take off that guilt and just say, what happens if?
It's great advice. I think it's great real world advice. Great place to start. Anything else you guys want to add? I mean, you guys did such a good job.
Oh, I actually, do we have time?
Yeah, of
Okay.
course.
Well, I want you to say something else about the willpower thing, because in my mind, there is still part of me that does feel like it's a matter of willpower, and like the stronger my mind gets, the better I can get at
So I think
not turning.
I'm
towards
thinking of
food.
two things. Like the willpower thing is when we are in a negative emotional state, which is a stressor. Your willpower, which is in your smart brain, in your prefrontal cortex, analytical, think smart, planning brain, isn't the one that's in control. Because you probably have willpower, like you clean your house and you get stuff done and you can do the things you want to do, which takes willpower. But when you are in a high stress emotional state, willpower is not there.
So it's like
not
you
that you lack
have
it.
it, but you're maybe not
It's just not
capable of choosing
accessing it. Right.
Yeah.
Right. Like the emotional response is what's in control. The other thing is, someone explained this to me once, and I think it's a great picture, is if you think about like a cow pasture and you can see the little trail of like, this is the way the cows go to the barn. And they go this way all the time, and there's this little trail in the hill, and that's the way they go every day, however many times a day. And that's kind of how our brain works with like your habit and your repetition. So it takes a lot, going backwards here, of willpower to get off of that trail and build a new one.
Right.
So instead of trying to like grit your teeth and muscle through it, you can think about repetition. Like, okay, I'm trying to not go to the drive-thru this morning, or every morning. So I need to build up the habit of making coffee at home.
Yeah.
And keep doing that to like, oh, this is my routine. This is my morning. This is that I've built a new pathway in the brain to follow. Yeah. And we could go far with this. I think in doing so, you want to add a little ritual and enjoyment to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
you have to if you want to, if you want it, any change to be sustainable. Yeah.
Yeah, willpower. Like you can't willpower your way through all the things, but you can build habits that will create automations that you want. Yeah,
that's good.
Can make a big difference.
Yeah.
Well, guys, that was great. I know that there will most likely be some questions that come up. Listeners, if you have any of those, let us know. You know where to get a hold of us, inspiredintentions@skyterrawellness.com. I can get any questions to Jeannie. Be happy to answer stuff like that on here. Same thing, Leah. I know how to get a hold of you.
Yeah.
And we can get any questions that you have for Leah as well. And I'm looking forward to spending some more time with both of you guys, especially while you're here, Leah, and doing some hiking and everything else. And I appreciate you coming on here for a fourth time.
I love it. I got to keep racking up the episodes.
gotta stay the most.
Thank you so much.
It's a
for
competition
having me.
now.
Yeah,
of course.
Everything's a competition.
Yeah, you have the most signatures on the door.
Oh my gosh, amazing. I'm
Most
so
signatures.
happy for me.
I'll take a little video. Maybe we'll post that of Leah signing the door again. All right, listeners, thank you so much, and we will catch you all next time.
The Inspired Intentions podcast is a production of Skyterra Wellness Retreat. Special thanks to our executive producer, Alan Broyhill. Send us your questions and comments to inspiredintentions@skyterrawellness.com. Subscribe on iTunes and everywhere podcasts can be found. If someone you know might benefit from this podcast, share Inspired Intentions with them and give us a 5-star rating. Join us next week as we cut through the unrealistic noise on diets and fitness and show you how healthy living fits seamlessly into your already busy life. Thanks for listening.